AFC South?
Dolphins, right?
Who else? Like Dolphins?
AFC East. So the South would be what Indy, Houston.
I don't get that because Florida's
Houston might.
literally at the bottom of the country. How are they not in the South? And why am I not remembering that?
Well, because you remember they they used to just have north, south, east, west. Now they have the central, and then you had more than four divisions. So I think they added so, and then expanded. They didn't break up some of the rob
Right.
like Dallas. They didn't want to.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do nothing this year. If they're smart, they'll get rid of Dak Prescott. He's another overpaid schlub.
Well, they're not. They're gonna have to take what is it, an $85 million dead cap hit when Dak leaves. It's the largest in history.
Should. Well, they've got Cooper Rush and they've got fucking Trey Lance. Surely they can do a season with that. And then if not,
Bro, I don't even know what Trey Lance is doing now. Does he still play football?
Yeah, he's the backup on the Cowboys. He's
I know he's the
Cowboys.
backup for the Cowboys, but he's like a ghost.
Yeah, well, he didn't play much at college because he set out the COVID season, so he played fuck all games. So all he needs is like reps. But I think he played like 12 college games all up.
So Barkley, you're not rebooting your computer, right?
I'm live. I'm live again.
Oh, you're back.
I started
live from my dad's basement.
Did you see that Caleb Williams got benched during OTAs after 7 series because he threw like 3 straight interceptions?
What?
Yeah, a while ago. I'm serious.
They got who's their backup?
The Bears? I don't have a clue.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys get rid of Dak, and then I'm hearing they want to draft Shadur Sanders. Jerry wants to sign Baby Prime. He gonna be my quarterback.
That's silly.
Baby Prime, you're gonna be a Dallas Cowboy.
He's not that good.
Come talk to your Uncle Jerry. Well, he's better than Dak.
Remember they were kind of trading Dion around Super Bowl. It was Dallas real good.
Who might make a move like that could be the Raiders.
They got nobody.
That guy, the Minshew, apparently still drives a 2005 Accord.
And they have
his parents bought him.
There's a comment from Bounds of the boss. Can you repeat that for me? Chicago sports people usually less. Usually what? They even become superstars? Is that what you said?
Chicago
sports can't see him, otherwise I'll read your comments.
So players leave the Bears and become.
It's the same way with the Sharks.
Well, some people just need a change of scenery.
Yeah, it's the oldest trick in the book.
So yeah, if they get rid of Dak, they should be able. Like Cooper Rush is a pretty good backup, and Trey Lance. I guess the Shanahans saw something in him. That's why they gave up all those draft picks to sign him, and then.
Well, I don't know if they were Shanahan doing more than
Lynch.
Oh, they gave him a shitload of draft picks for to get him, didn't they?
No, but I'm thinking it might have been Lynch's idea.
Yeah, it was.
Lynch? I thought it was the Shanahans.
No, it was all Lynch.
Well, Skip Bayless said it was all
It might have been. I don't know.
You sure?
I mean, I'm not saying
Carl
didn't have
and
a
Mike's
voice,
guy.
but
Yeah, well, I've just known one as a Skip Bayless is pretty accurate on his. Well, Stephen, like, you know, before every show, Skip Bayless is always up the night before researching his stuff.
yeah.
And like Stephen A just does that. Stephen A just walks in the room and just free balls everything. Like he just. Like Skip, he didn't even have kids because he's too dedicated to his job.
Oh my god, I'm missing
George
the head here. Oh my god. I just got trolled. Holy moly. Ugh.
What are you playing? Golf.
No, I'm playing Elden Ring, and I'm fighting this dragon, and I literally just had him.
You playing Dungeons and Dragons?
It was Game of the Year in
Bang.
2020, I'll tell you that.
Fuck.
Yeah, I guess Vance is right. Kyle Shanahan also chose trailing. Yeah, it was his choice, I guess. What you call it? Told him that's what he wanted.
When I have like football arguments with Pesci goes, "What do you know, Shans? You're from fucking New Zealand. What would you know?" I was just like, well, you know, get the same same information as everyone else.
Oh my gosh, man. What is going on here?
Is American football popular down there?
Very popular. Very popular.
No?
It's not popular. Like people don't watch it every week, but if there was a game here, it would probably sell out just because it's you know, and something different. Like people will watch the Super Bowl because it's the thing to do, even though it falls on like a Monday over here.
Yeah.
So it's not like extremely packed, but yeah, it's not, you know. I put this: if you had a game here, and it would sell out, but like people don't, you know, watch it religiously, or could name you 10 players.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm not sure about over in England. When the game was over there, of course, it was sold out.
Yeah, it's just same as AEW over there. It's because it's something different, you know. So it would sell out in England. You got to remember that they're joined to and a lot of people in England. They're joined to Ireland and Scotland and France. So you know you could catch a plane there in a couple. You know.
Yeah.
It's just like AEW selling out in Wembley, like because it's something different. It's something new. Everyone wants to go and have a look. And there ain't too much things to do there, so they could sell it out of 2 or 3 years, but I think probably after the 3rd year, everyone would be like, this is some bullshit. And
Yeah, we went to the Dolph Saints there.
We're in Wembley.
Yeah.
Well, sell out?
I'm pretty sure, if I remember right.
Shit. Was it 90,000 people?
Oh my god, hit the head.
Hey. I could be wrong, but it seemed like it was
crazy. I played in front of 10,000 people. I thought that was fucking insane. Couldn't imagine what it was like in front of like 90.
Oh
Well, that's what Michigan plays.
Michigan holds like 110,000.
Yeah,
it's even more.
Who's that? What, Wembley? What's 110,000?
The University of Michigan football stadium.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The big house. I'm pretty sure Ohio State holds 100,000 too, right, boss man?
Yeah.
Michigan's
the
football
Ohio
stadium is
State.
the biggest in the country, though. Capacity.
Bigger than Texas A&M, the house that Johnny built.
It's kind of weird that nowhere in Texas they don't have any 100,000 seat football stadiums. It's really weird. But Michigan does.
Yeah. Texas A&M. There was especially how big football is in Texas.
That's religion.
Even like
We look at all the good quarterbacks that have come from Texas, man.
even like high school there.
Yeah, when I first started sports journalism, the first thing I had to do was like write a passage at the Examiner. I did a summer of Texas high school football, culminated with that.
Did you flip?
Personal.
Did you have to live down there?
No, I didn't live. I was staying in hotels and shit, traveling back and forth. But Bossman's not kidding. There's a real market. And they play the high school football championship at the Cowboys Stadium. And they probably get more people in there for that game than they do for Cowboys. It's one of the hardest football tickets to get in the state.
And I've heard like if someone like
and their high school stadiums also have corporate sponsors. Like I can't remember which high school it was, but it was literally Papa John's Stadium. And this place held 30,000. It was a high school football team. It holds 30,000.
Yeah, I've heard like if a team is in the championship game and somebody choked, causes them to lose the game, like the whole town is against them. Like they don't even talk to them, right?
It's crazy to put that much pressure on kids, man.
Boss man, there's a rugby league game coming up soon. It's called the series is called State of Origin. It's New South Wales versus Queensland. That's like the fucking pinnacle rugby league. Like they hate each other, man. They just go and try and bash the living shit out of each other. I think it's on next, so it'll be next Tuesday your time. But yeah, Barclay, if you want to go see something, you got to go see State of Origin. That's the fucking.
I had this guy one fucking shot.
Rugby league football.
Oh, this is insane.
They've been going for like 100 a year. But you can watch it for free, boss man, on NRL.com. But that's the pinnacle rugby league there. And it had for me to say, even though I'm a New Zealander and it's New South Wales versus fucking Queensland.
Dude,
even like New Zealanders have picked sides and. Because it's been going that long, but it's just, fucking fights and all sorts, man. Just the hits.
I just read something about Queensland. Girl had a bunch of stuffed animals on her bed. It's like grabbed one. There was venomous snake in the like mixed up in the.
Around. My mate thing is keep one in his car, like under his car bonnet. That's the difference between us and here. Like they're going about how great the weather is and stuff. There's nothing here that can kill you. And there's no snakes, no poisonous spiders, no giant fucking spiders, no crocodiles, no alligators.
Yeah.
No Australians.
Yeah, I hear it's pretty bad there.
Oh no, it's not just, you have to be smart there, you know, like it's a great place to live. Like I'd live there in a hot second, but
Over where you're at?
in Australia's cool. Yeah, I'd live in Australia. It's all.
I knew somebody I used to listen to, Chuck Missler. He was into like the UFOs and stuff, and and biblical stuff like the giants. He moved to New Zealand because he said he felt like that's where God was going to be, but he said it was like the safest place to be.
Yeah, you gotta remember, our cops don't even carry guns.
Yeah.
That's how. Yeah, like it's. But I guess like everywhere's like getting worse and stuff. Like especially where, I'm real close to the city, and it's getting like Auckland City, like the city's getting a bit like New York City. With like all the homeless and just everyone crowding and all the homeless and people doing drugs on the. It's just slowly just getting worse, but yeah. I guess if you lived out can't you be alright? You'd be safe as houses, but.
Yeah, he passed away over there. He said where he felt led.
DoorDash is here.
Is it? Or could be that friend of Boland's. That OVW guy coming in. He wouldn't be able to jump the fence, would he? You got guard dogs and security system and
shooters, and they're all experts.
Have to be like John Wick to be able to get in anywhere near your place.
Did you get Fabio's West?
Yeah. No, I just ordered from 7-Eleven.
I would love to go inside Fabio. The people that go in there say like he's as rude there as he is on the phone.
Well, I know Mount Time used to just ring him up until he got hung up on.
Did he really?
I guess he got. Yeah, I guess he just got hammered and just rung him up and just jail with him until he got hung up on and yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever called Boss Man?
Nah, but just what's so funny is Pesci's face when they told him learn the
piss out of him.
You don't have a clip of it?
I don't.
He's probably got one somewhere floating around. Like if it.
What did his face look like?
It's just how he's like.
That was before he started tanning, so he's probably real pale.
Just this kind of confused look on his face, like, "Hey, man,
Learn the menu. Learn the menu. What's this? Learn the menu."
I wish I could see the one Rocco asked him what
when there's that much shit. It's hard to find stuff, and you're going through like a 7 or 8 hour fucking show to try and find that fucking 2-minute clip.
Yeah, when Rocco asked him what his credentials were, I'd like to see that too.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
What are your credentials, Pesci?
More than yours, Rocco.
I'm like, does Pesci know what that means?
Yeah.
I've been doing this fight the wrong way the whole time.
I could have told you that.
When you get your TV, boss man, when's the TV coming?
My son's got this rule: kids can only have like hour of TV time for the week or whatever. Not the past couple of days. I just put the TV on. So here you go.
Yeah. Well, I noticed now there's a lot of like really good educational kids like I try and limit my kids freaking TV and stuff, but like on Netflix, there's a lot of freaking great educational stuff. So like if you want to watch something, you gotta watch some educational stuff. And this teacher's been telling me like he comes to school telling all sorts of like stuff about crocodiles and great white sharks and stuff, and like just like crazy stuff. And she's like, how do you? I was like, shut up. She's like, do you teach him? And I'm like, nah, you must just learn it from Netflix.
Well, I used to but son and I would always watch Crocodile Hunter. Steve Irwin. He loved it, and then all of a sudden,
he was
when
tough,
he got
man.
older,
He was a legit tough guy. Like, I remember he used to train with like the Brisbane Broncos, which is one of the top rugby league teams. And he used to, like, when those guys are like, man, they could bench press a small car if he wanted to. Like, he used to do all the fitness stuff with him. What's that?
All of a sudden, my son didn't watch it anymore. It's like, I hate that stuff. What? I used to watch it all the time. Well, even before that. Yeah, I don't know. Dude, we used to watch
your
it all the
grandkids
time.
watch TV at your place? What do they just...
Oh, they don't. Gonzo says it's a tough crowd. It didn't take long for Rocco to fall victim. Chat.
Yeah, well, like, Rocco used to have about 20 people watching him. But now, he just bans everything. Now he's got, like, 1 or 2. Like, sometimes he'd have, like, 30, 35 live in the chat, but now he can barely break 2 or 3. I guess he just banning everyone, and everyone just kind of gave up, because he's a bit like Ken, you rile him up and you might get a, you get a half-decent promo, or he'll go on about some crazy thing like.
See, I just need a little bit of food in me.
Like he could have done, if he'd have just been half by smart, he could have made it on YouTube. He had enough viewers and enough subscribers, but I guess he has meltdowns and then deletes his channel and starts new ones every 5 minutes.
Yeah, he told me the other day I wasn't welcome as a Jacobs.
Yeah, well, like, blooming, Waters, and he always keeps blocking him, and like he always goes, he's probably the best friend Rocco's ever had.
Yeah.
And he's always blocking him and unblocking him, and like, he's like, cutting promos on him, and Jacob's a Rocco, I didn't see him. So,
it didn't take long for Rocco to fall victim to the chat.
Yeah, I just read.
I tried to
he's going like
him, but he has far
full
too many
bowling.
objectives.
Yeah, full bowling Rocco, just block out.
Yeah, he's a freaking trip.
Rocco? He's just mentally ill.
Oh yeah, I mean, that was true. Bolin says I'm mentally ill.
Everyone's mentally. Everyone he blocks is mentally ill.
That's a little bit different.
No, I do have some mental.
You said you're mentally ill too, Barkley. Even though I'm sure you've got a doctor's certificate to prove otherwise.
No, I got dyslexia.
Yeah, but that's not freaking, that's fuck all.
ADHD and ADD, and oppositional defiant disorder, and whatever else the fad was in the 90s. Whatever it was, boss man, I got it.
Yeah, I have
there's a big story going on here. There's this guy I went to school with. He was a bit of like a bushman. Like, you just go to the bush and survive there. Like, apparently, like, him and his wife had something, and he's run off with the kids, and they've been like living in the bush for like 2.5 years.
What?
The police are trying to find this guy. This guy I used to go to school with. He was homeschooled. Like, I went to college with him, and he was a bit of a. He was a nice guy, but he was a bit strict. Most of those homeschool people are a bit strange. But yeah, he used to run away, and it was my job. I used to have to drag him back. But anyway, like 20 years later, like he's on the run with his kids, like in the bush, and they can't find him. They've been trying to find him for like 2.5 years. What's that?
On the run from what, though?
The police, like, apparently, like, he like robbed a bank and stuff with his like 3 kids.
Jesus.
Yeah, but he's been on the run for like no one knows where the hell he is, and like they've offered like a $100,000 reward for like information and stuff. But my phone keeps going off because they're like, "Oh, you used to bring him back from when he used to run away at college. I used to have to drag him back. Like, you should go find him." I was like, "Nah, man, he'd blow my head off." Like he's one of these like he's like a sniper level marksman. I was like, I would, I'd go and get him for $80,000, but like, he'd blow my brains out.
So he's just like fucking living out in the goddamn outback.
But he's like a crazy, like he knows what he's doing. Like if there's anybody in the world I'd want to be lost in the bush with, it'd be him because he's just fucking next level. But
he didn't turn his guns in.
Nah, probably not. But yeah, no, it's both stories of like Tom Phillips, and it's quite a big story over here. But like he's been on the run for like 2.5 years, but now they've got like helicopters and dogs, and they're trying to find him, and they can't find him. I think it's a bit sad what he's putting his kids through. Like it's the middle of winter here, and they shouldn't be like living in the fucking bush for like 2.5 years, but apparently like robbed a bank as well. He like robbed the bank and stuff, but
he's in New Zealand. He's not in Australia.
Yeah, no, he's in New Zealand.
Okay. Yeah,
Aussie a bit different.
Find a fucking place to live in Bay of Plenty and just hide there for 2 years.
He's in the bush, which is pretty rugged, but like he knows what he's doing. But
his mother said Rocco has an IQ in the 20s.
That's pretty high.
So does Christopher, doesn't he? Christopher, he's got a fucking
cat box.
But yeah, country's not very big, so it's like being able to like avoid.
It's an island.
For like,
You live on an island.
So yeah, fucking. Got Wi-Fi down there? Yeah.
Oh, they got technology. It's not the third world.
Yeah, I don't know if Kenny was going on about fucking Jacinta and all that other shit.
That guy lives in fucking Louisville, bro. I don't want to hear him talking about anybody's fucking.
No, he's from the TV and stuff, and I was just like, fuck, she was a bankrupted us. Fucking just, God. She just keep throwing money at everyone and everything. Especially the natives and their fucking.
The Maori?
Oh, fuck, man. That's Jesus Christ. Their tribes, they got paid out friggin'. Their tribes and the iwis got paid out like billions and billions of dollars. Yeah, they're still wanting, but the guys at the top have kept all the money, and they're still protesting that they want they want their land back and stuff, even though they've been paid out for their thing. They're all still protesting about the stolen land and stuff. And
of course,
that's great. Like, but the guys at the top have just the iwis, the top guys have kept all the money. And they're still going off at the government, claiming they want to, That's insane. But like my old man was saying, like before they got paid out, like he reckons that the guys, they couldn't afford cars. They were like driving around on push bikes. And then the government paid all the tribes out, and they all got like Mercedes and gold chains, and the top guys that are the top guys at the top.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
You can't say anything negative about them. They just flip their friggin' leg and just call, races on every friggin' thing.
Not shocked. It's a common tactic.
Hey, there's a lot of good ones. I got many that are friends and stuff. That it's just like there's the woke ones, and then there's the ones that are just trying to get stuff. Just trying to, because I guess Jacinda kind of gave in to all of them and just was, whatever they wanted, she kind of just gave in to them. But like they want their own like separate schools and separate,
They don't want to pay for it though.
Our country doesn't have any money, and like even. So I'm like, if you want separate schools, get your tribes to pay for them. Like some of them are worth billions.
So, if you could move to Australia, what part?
Oh, the Gold Coast. Yeah, that's kind of like Florida, Hawaii of Australia. It's not too overpopulated. Like Queensland and Melbourne, Sydney and Melbourne are great places. They're on the front, on the sort of front side of Australia, and like all the middles are sort of like no man's land. But the Gold Coast is like, if you ever get the chance to go, boss man, go to the Gold Coast.
Bossman doesn't want to sit on an airplane for that long.
But yeah, Barkley, if you get to the Gold Coast, that's mean. I wouldn't mind living there, but my partner don't want to go, and I got to get here, and I'm pretty well sussed here. Like I'm in a good part, and I'm close to like all the, like I can get on a plane and go to my team's stadium. I'm going to get on a train, 15 minutes down the road. I'm like like a $20 Uber and I'm in the city. I'm at the viaduct. I'm on the waterfront. I'm close to everything. Like I can walk to I can see the racetrack from my letterbox. The horse racetrack. So I'm pretty well situated. Like a lot of my friends and my partner's friends, they all have to drive like 2 hours in traffic to get to work. Like we don't, because we're close, maybe like 15 or 20 minutes to the city. Like Auckland traffic, city traffic's kind of like New York traffic on rush hour. So you can fucking like, a half an hour drive could turn into like a 2 or 3 hour drive, So like I'm pretty well situated, like close enough to like all the school, my son's schools and rugby club. Like everything's just a stone throw away. Even Eden Park, which is like the biggest, that's about 3 or 4 kilometers. I guess if Auckland was California, where I'll ever be somewhere like Brentwood.
Really?
Yeah, so Remy, where you about? I've got yeah.
Brentwood is
New Zealand. New Zealand's pretty nice.
Remy, where?
Brentwood is considered slums up where Barclays.
Yeah, well, everywhere's slums compared with where Barclays from. He's got like a moat with crocodiles around his house.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Jake Hudson to shake you down for some money. It hasn't worked yet. Yeah. Jake Barclay's a fucking millionaire, man. He's got like that Mark Cuban, Anthony Scaramucci money. You want to fucking ask him for some money?
He already started. He made me buy a.
Yeah. He asked you for some money.
He made me buy a badge on his Kick channel.
That's nothing. God, I don't know how much thousands I've spent on him. Jesus Christ.
where you're talking about,
Yeah,
this northwest Queensland, is that what you're talking about?
or the Gold Coast.
Well, this says the Gulf country.
What's that?
This says the Gulf country.
So what are you trying to find?
The part of Australia that.
Oh, the Gold Coast.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's what I put in.
Queensland. Yeah, the Gold Coast isn't Queensland. It's Gold Coast, Queensland. That's a.
There's a complete map of Australia. It's kind of hard to figure out where it is.
Yeah, Gold Coast, Brisbane, Noosa, they're all that warm places, nice beaches and stuff. Not overpopulated like Sydney and Melbourne. Like Melbourne's supposed to be the sporting capital of the world, but it's a bit like overpopulated. But mind you, it'll be nothing compared to what you guys are used to. Like, so it'll be like every other day.
This game is so unreal, man.
So it's like Western Australia. That's like,
no. That's the bad part. That's where.
That's what I was getting ready to say. But
No,
that's
you don't want to go. Yeah, Perth's all right. Like but it's way over the other side.
Yeah.
Perth pussy.
Like they'll give you $5,000 just to move to Perth. There's a lot of like mining and stuff out there. You can go middle of nowhere and like live in a hotel and just 4 days on, 4 days off mining, and you probably make 5 or 6, maybe $7,000 a week.
Yeah.
Just driving a dump truck or a loader or something. But it's just the heat you got to get used to.
Yeah. So Sydney's down on the southeast.
It's all around the side, and then that middle part's all like no man's land.
Brisbane.
Yeah, that's a nice place. Well, they're all nice places.
Here's Barkley. Tableland. Must be some of Barkley's crew. Great Sandy Desert. Great Victoria Desert.
Dinner's here. Alright, guys, take care of my catches later if you're still around.
Yeah, I got to go.
Go on. Check.
Alright. Later, Barkley.
Later, boss man. What up, Perm? Yeah. Let me get you a wrench real quick, Herb. Hold on, brother. Let me get you a wrench real quick. There you go. Should we get some cornet in the background or what? I like to make sure that everybody can keep the place safe for me. Let's see. What has Cornet got? Jim Cornette reviews AEW Dynamite from June 12th. Let's give it a listen.
Hey!
All right, well, it's time
It's time.
to
do what?
I have no transition, so let me do that. All right. Jim, on the topic of weird sounds
Yes, Uncle Huck.
and weird visions, AEW Dynamite aired last night as we are
Listen,
recording.
boy.
I watched it this morning before we recorded. And they took place from... Where was it?
They took place. They took money from these people.
Hold on, you know what? I gotta find something real quick. Where were they last night?
They were in Des Moines, Iowa. And boy, howdy. I don't know if you can't get over in Des Moines. I mean, there's fine folks in Des Moines. I've been there a time or two. But it's not like this is Las Vegas or L.A. You know, if you get a cold crowd in Des Moines, you can't impress a lot of fucking people.
I guess they were in Council Bluffs, Iowa, for Collision on Saturday.
That's even worse.
And Kosha Irby, who is the COO of AEW, tweeted out, Council Bluffs is home to fantastic fans, a charming city, and a subpar venue partner. For those who chose AEW Collision on TV or in person, thank you.
Wow, wait a minute. So,
And then someone responded, hold on, superb, I think is what you were going for. And he put a GIF here that says, I said what I said. So the COO put down the venue at Council
I
Bluffs.
was about to say the new guy in charge is already knocking the fucking buildings in Iowa. Wait till he starts dealing with the people in fucking Pennsylvania. You know, I think where is Sioux City?
It's in Iowa, isn't it?
Well, there's two. There's Sioux City, Sioux. There's a Sioux City, Iowa, and there's a Sioux City, South Dakota. I think whatever in the miserable days of WCW, when they were just sending us to fucking places that have never heard of us before. We were on the tour. I think if Sioux City was the home of Ann Landers, then that's the one I think that, or Dear Abby, one or the other. That's the one that did well.
Content creator,
But we were out in the middle of fucking Midwest for 4 or 5 days in a row. Me, Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane, and Dick Murdoch.
She's from Sioux City, Iowa, correct.
Okay, well
Dear Abby.
we were in a building that was older than Dear Abby, and that one sold out. But it was these towns, I don't even know what the fuck, when we got there, I swear to God. We got out of the airport and got in a rental car, me and Bobby, Stan, and Dick, and as we're driving to what is supposed to be the highway to take us to downtown, there is the airport motel and restaurant. You know how we knew what it was? Because there was a building that said motel and a building that said restaurant. That was the only signage whatsoever. And that was the only thing I think we saw for the next fucking 10 miles till we got into town. They just put their airport out in the middle of a fucking field. So the point is, this sounded in a lot of cases through this program like they were doing this in a library or a non-crowded theater. Didn't it to the point where there was some echo when Nana would yell, "Whose house?" Empty house.
All I kept thinking was if I was there and I started making bird noises, I could take over the show. If you just sat in the back and while a match was happening or a promo, that Swerve promo, the crowd went silent. I mean, I know they were listening, but traditionally there are ways that wrestling fans listen and somehow still make some noise or breathe or move or whatever it is.
Well,
if you just sat there and went, and then someone else started doing it, everyone at home would hear you, and it would take off and become a thing.
You know, somebody ought to bring the cartoon recording of the sunrise over the farm. Can
you imagine if these fans were like the French fans and singing? They would take over the entire show.
But they don't care that much. But now here's the problem. There were two different kinds of fan reactions in this same opening promo. And let's explain to the people, they don't do a show open or anything. They go cold right into Swerve's entrance with Nana because they okay, we got to hook them. And here's one of the few people we've got to take care about. And Swerve does the promo, and he's talking about our friend Willie Ostrich at Forbidden Door, and the people like Swerve. They were reacting to what he said and listening to other parts, but it was a good promo. It was decent since there's not really anything to talk about otherwise than this is a match they're having. Right? It's not a compelling backstory between these two. So, but, you know, he's fine and they're listening to him, right? Well, then, when Maddie and Nikki, the Hardley Boys, and Cody and Jungle Jackoff interrupt it, and they've got to get... The people barely like Okada anymore out of this group, so they gotta. As I try to make him look like an idiot, they give it. It's my house, bitch. That he's supposed to say on the microphone is a childish and indie. But when they come out, then the people are either like, we've tuned out. We don't want to hear this. We don't see this. They're not listening. They're not caring. So there's two different reactions to the different sides of this. Because then, when Swerve did a few things again, people kind of liked that. But it was just that big hole in the middle. And have Nikki and Maddie been taking, what is it, the testosterone replacement? Or addition, or steroids, or HGH? Why are they just growling on purpose like they think that heels talk?
I noticed that about Matt Jackson more than Nick Jackson, who I think is a great flunky character. I keep saying it. He could bump. He could talk in like a sneaky heel kind of way. He's a good flunky heel. His brother is just go home heat right away. Especially now where he's talking like this. And he makes nothing, like the facial expressions feel fake. The way he talks feels fake. Everything they says feels fake.
Everything they says.
So, yeah, not good. And the crowd just doesn't give a fuck.
Well, and I agree with you about the flunky thing, but here he's one of the flunkies trying to run this. Imagine if Barney Fife had been the sheriff of Mayberry. Would they have got 8 seasons? No, you know, the classic flunky needs to stay in his flunk house. But the harder they tried, the quieter the people got. And with the growling and this, and then explain to me why that they came out, the heel faction is supposed to be the top group because they're the EVPs and the big high-priced Japanese import and the little fucking defective sports car that's going to require a lot of maintenance from fucking California. They're supposed to be the top heel group, and they just won the big match against Team AEW, Anarchy in the Arena, even though one of them got set on fire. He's the one who won the match, right? Am I correct in this?
That is correct, yes.
So then why did they come out and challenge some of the same people they've just beaten to the most violent match in AEW, blood and guts? Number one, how could a match be more violent than Arena assholes? Because I mentioned the guy got set on fire. And then, why are the heels asking for the ultimate grudge match when they just won the last one 2 weeks ago? Does that make sense? Help me.
I can help you. The other thing is, and I know you've brought it up in the past, and not everything is the first War Games, or the second War Games. Not everything is the first 2 War Games. There are other good War Games as well. But there was usually a build.
Number 7 was a real tickle.
But there was a build. I mean, when it first happened, there was a reason for it to happen. Everything kind of built to it happening. This is just all of a sudden they're announcing something that's going to be in a few weeks. There are no opponents for either team. Like, there's 4 guys on one team, and Team AEW is right now empty, except maybe the Acclaimed and Swerve.
Well, but they just had a Team AEW, and then see that's the thing. Then the first time that the Buckaroos get a reaction out of the people is when they ask Swerve if he wants to be their 5th man in Blood and Guts, and then the people are like, "Oh, boo! No, for real! No, don't get involved in this. Don't do anything with these people, right? Please pick your friends carefully." That kind of reaction.
What have we got here?
And then, of course, no, he blows them off because now he's a baby face. He's reformed his baby terrorizing ways.
Seek down.
And
shit.
and they had to funny it up by giving him a pair of their shoes. But then Swerve, as I said, blew him off, and Nana threw the shoes out to the crowd. And the people genuinely then reacted with glee and relief that he wasn't going to be involved with them.
Wow.
And then the heels in the most stagey way. So he's, oh, yeah, see that? You hear that buzzing? That's the injury bug. And it just bit you. And then they start taking their clothes off in a stagey way, not like they're going to film some kind of sick movie or something, but like they're going to strip down for a fight. On the way to the ring, by the way, Nick Jackson had dropped in. Well, half of the roster isn't here anymore because of us.
That was the funniest line because it was so true.
Yeah, and I don't know whether he meant it or not. I think he was talking in the context. They're not smart enough.
Half the roster and all the draws are gone because of us.
Yeah, but in the context of we put this guy out and we put that guy out, half the roster is gone because of us. I think he was being ironic. Alanis Jackson. And then suddenly the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn come out to save the day when they're going to beat up the world champion, who's the only person they give a shit about in the ring right now. Remember when the Acclaimed were over? Where the fuck did that go?
Again, going back to Blood and Guts, if the Acclaimed are put in that match as 3, the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn as 3 of the participants on the babyface side.
With the world champion?
It doesn't feel like the time push-wise for that. Like, it feels like you're putting them someplace where, I don't know. It's not happening for them right now.
Oh. And then, as the baby faces hit the ring, the heels jump out on the floor, and Christopher Daniels, the new authority whenever Tony doesn't exert his authority, comes out and says, this is basically what he said, no, we have too many matches on the show tonight to have a fight right now. What the fuck?
Oh, that's not even the most ridiculous thing from him this night.
But I'm just saying, we have too many matches on the show to have a fight right now, so everybody get out of the ring. Well, why haven't they been saying that for 40 fucking years?
We don't have time for this fight, you have to go.
You have to go now. It's like Fred Lampson, the athletic commissioner in Kentucky. Try the Lawler and Terry Funk are doing the double juice pull apart with 20 guys in the ring. He gets the microphone. He's like, all right, now break it up, you guys. The fight's over. He wasn't smart. Fight's over. Break it up. Lawler's like, if you think it's over, you get your ass in here and try to stop it. So we got too many matches. Everybody gets out of the ring. He sounded like a grumpy lifeguard. Okay, everybody out of the pool.
All right, I'm going to try this.
Somebody turned the chemical purple. And then he tells Jungle Jack off to stay and wrestle this man. And they played Dustin Rhodes' music, and they did not fight, and everybody just left in some surreptitious fashion.
Orderly fashion. Everyone's single file now, out of here.
Uh-huh.
Come on.
Don't make me use the ruler.
I know you've always been a fan of his work. I've never really been a big fan of his work. I'm not saying he hasn't had good matches, but I never got it with Christopher Daniels. I certainly don't get it with him in this role.
Hey.
I don't think he's pulling it off.
And, I don't know how...
it's ridiculous.
How could you make this material better, though? See, that's always the conundrum. Because I will accuse him of sucking when I'm sure that he's sucking, but this material is so bad. How could I make this
You know what the other thing
palatable.
is, too? Seeing a guy out there as an authority figure with a shirt and tie and no hair makes you think of the biggest show in wrestling where they have a guy just like that. Like, that was the good thing about Bob Armstrong as the commissioner. He didn't look like every other, Jack Tunney. He wasn't in a suit and...
No, he could have been Jacked Tunney.
All right.
See what I did there?
Oh, boy. Yeah. That's right.
Well, speaking of jack-offs, that's who's wrestling Dustin Rhodes.
So that was the opening segment, and at least they started with Swerve, I guess, if that's the biggest audience. If we're going to look at a positive, the biggest audience that's going to see anything that night is likely the first segment, and they got Swerve out there, and they also got the Bucks, who traditionally run people off.
I am being
Well,
stupid.
unfortunately, they didn't run Dustin Rhodes and Jack Perry off. And again, poor Dustin, he's a foot taller, he's 50 pounds heavier, he is a real talent, he's amazing at this age still. He hadn't won a match in 3 years that anybody's seen in his fucking company. And we know he's here just to put this jack-off over in a ladder match qualifier. Oh, another way, we think suddenly Dustin will catapult himself after all these years of, being wallowed in obscurity. Will catapult himself into the pay-per-view over the Elite's fucking, yeah. And their break spot was Dustin was after a minute, was Dustin was bleeding, and Jack had taken a backdrop on bare concrete because they'd pulled the floor pads up, and Dustin's bleeding of buckets, and I don't know what the fuck. I skipped to the finish. Which was, Dustin is selling, he's rolled in, he's barely beat the count, he's disoriented, he's losing blood. And referee Aubrey Edwards, good old Aubrey Ed, helps Dustin to his feet, and then, almost like a heel referee turn, for no reason, turned to the right and walked to the ropes and just turned her back and was looking out. It's something that wasn't there so that Jungle Jackoff could kick him right in the balls. And then she turned back around and was like, nay. And then Dustin is kneeling there, having been kicked in the balls, and he's selling, and then Jungle Jackoff is over in the corner, standing there looking at him, and Dustin looks up at Jungle Jackoff and gives him the finger. And Jungle Jackoff runs at him, and Dustin kneels there giving him the finger, watching him run at him, and he knee lifts him, boom, and beats him 1, 2, 3. If he had the energy to give him the finger, couldn't he just rolled out of the way of the knee lift? Why are all their finishes not only phony looking, but they make the baby faces and the referees look like total idiots? Explain that one to me, Lucy.
As soon as Dustin came out, I was like, Dustin's going to lose another match, and now it's the Jack Perry. And then once you saw them in there, the size difference. And again, not everything, I'm not saying everyone has to be a giant person, but Jack Perry's shorter, and he doesn't have much muscle or much mass, or he just seems like a little guy doing moves. I mean, when I looked at his arms and his leg, just everything in there against Dustin should kill him. Unless he's a black belt. Unless somehow they introduce the fact that he knows how to kill people.
And then, somebody can point to say, okay, well, at one point, the Ricky Morton wrestled the Barbarian. And here's another thing.
And he wrestled like it, and that's how he wrestled, like Ricky Morton wrestling the Barbarian, having to evade him, having to do everything he can, not to hit power high spots on him or anything.
Yes, and also, Ricky Morton knew how to work. And, but nevertheless, that's what happened there.
But I don't think it's working. Again, the audience there reacts a little bit to him. They're not even really reacting hard to this. We've already heard some fans chant CM Punk, but that's been a minority of the AEW audience that we've heard so far. But since they aired that video and brought him back and put him with the Elite, who are hamming it up in what can only be called a comedy stable, a heel comedy stable. It's like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. It's a heel comedy stable for anyone in on the bad humor.
And if you're not in on the bad humor, then you're out.
Yeah, I don't think it's working.
Lost
We'll
those
see.
souls, man.
A lot of people out these days. Speaking of being out, Rush's opponent, Arnold Finster, was out in about fucking 10 seconds, out on the floor.
I just lost all
Referee
those
stood and
souls.
stared. Rush beat the guy up on the floor for no reason, then he beat him up in the ring, and then he beat him 1, 2, 3.
As soon as the match started, I'm thinking, what's the one thing I know Rush... What's his one move I know? And that's throwing people into every barricade around the ring. As soon as he hit the guy and he started rolling toward the floor, I'm like, oh my god, they're going for it right away. This match is going to be quick.
What the fuck? Why do you need to throw the fucking jobber around? And then he got the microphone and said, "You are a weak American, like all the others." That's more like Nikolai Volkov. You are a weak American. I can't talk like
That's
Rush.
not like Nikolai Volkov. I don't know what that's on.
Well, you are a weak American.
It's like if Nikolai and the Sheik had a
a...
baby. That's what it sounds like.
Well, hey, baby. But then suddenly, MJF's music played and he hit the ring and began a fight with Rush. And I'm willing to let them prove me wrong next week, but nothing that I saw here indicates that when I make this statement, they are going to prove me wrong. Does that make sense to you, Brian?
I don't know. I gotta hear what the rest of what you
Did I pass to dangle my participles? I'm about to say something, and they can prove me wrong next week if they can, but I don't think they will. That's more eloquently put.
And by the way, next week's match is going to be commercial free to start the show.
Well, boy, there you go. So nobody can get suplexed on the bare concrete floor for a break spot because there are no breaks.
Is it commercial free because the network's making it commercial free, or does Tony buy the ad time?
And no, I think they're doing some ratings ploy. To artificially inflate the... When you don't have a commercial break, the theory is, survey says, polls show, you don't have a commercial break over a quarter, that more people will hang with it. You will steadily gain rather than having any fluctuation in the quarter, and you will lead to a higher average. It's all part of the games people play. Games people play, up, down, the ratings will show it.
You need some organ?
No, I don't need your organ. You keep your organ to yourself. And that thing too. But when MJF's music hits, right, and they have the fight, and it's the top star in the company that's just returned, that lost the world title not long ago and has been out with injury.
Oh, man.
And just returned and needs, I think, to look strong and try to erase the bad taste, the bad memories, the bad faith or whatever of the devil with the blue dress on and that whole fiasco thing that happened. And Rush is, I'm sorry, regardless of what they think he is or is going to be, he's a mid-card heel that cannot speak. And he's a guy that fucking will not sell for people, or only when it chooses him or when it pleases him.
What is going on
And
here,
just
man?
beats the shit out of people. I don't like his work, both in terms of its execution and his psychology. I think he looks like he believes he's a star, and as such takes advantage of every babyface he's in with, and works, if they're going to push him as a main event guy, which, by the way, that time's been passed. You're going to come in and establish him as, okay, it's Swerve, it's Rush, it's Moxley, it's fucking MJF. And that time was past. But he thinks he is because he works that way. And so his matches are mostly rotten, and it makes no sense. Even if MJF beats him, I'm afraid that Rush will beat MJF up so bad and sell so little that the win will hurt MJF because of what the match will look like, more than it will help him because he beat some guy that nobody gives two squirts about in the fucking diarrhea category. That's what I want him to prove me wrong about.
See, the problem is MJF is the kind of wrestler who can entertain an audience in a long match, and the pacing of it won't make it ultra competitive if he had to, and he can keep everyone's attention and get reactions. Against Roosh, he's going to be selling for Roosh, you have to imagine.
One would, whether he wants to or not, from what we've seen in the past.
And you were right. And by the way, you were right. Last week I said he's a heel. He was clearly a babyface here, so you were 100% right.
Also, if you even watch this fight, and again, they both beat up security and went back to fighting and went out in the arena and fought in the stands, and people loved it because it's in the stands and they're crowd surfing, the wrestling equivalent of crowd surfing, fighting in the crowd. And they have a big pull apart in the back of the fucking arena. But if Rush would punch MJF and it came anywhere close to landing, because a lot of his don't, but MJF would sell it or would sometimes register it as if I've been struck somehow, so as to continue to further the illusion. But MJF's punching this guy in the fucking forehead and he's just looking at him. Doesn't blink. He just throwing another one. He's so concentrated on throwing his own fucking punch, he doesn't give a shit about yours. So I don't like this guy. I fart in this guy's general direction. I say his father smells of elderberries.
Hey, come on now, stop that.
But no, I don't like this guy. I would probably, I would be the wrong person for him to be. I would be the wrong person to be the booker for him to advance anywhere in his fucking career. I think his work fucking sucks. Anyway, prove me wrong next week.
We shall see. On the bright side, at least MJF's not yet been pulled into the stuff with the Elite. So you got that going for you.
What? I mean, who does he need to be pulled into something with right now? Who in this company? And I've asked this question before. Remember, there were big MJF Danielson, MJF Punk, and those have all gone away.
You know, I hate to say it because it's been abused almost nonstop since its advent. But MJF's the perfect guy to do a Piper's Pit. A few minutes on each show until there is something for him to do, as opposed to throwing him back. But again, we'll see where they go. They're starting with Roosh. MJF's a main eventer. There are very limited main eventers right now. You have Will Ospreay feuding with, I guess, Swerve Strickland. I guess MJF could get into that mix by the time he finishes with Roosh. His very curly hair. We shall see.
Well, and by the way, did you like the way they announced it? Because Daniels was out there earlier saying, hey, quit fighting. Quit fighting. We got too much wrestling on the show. And then when they're going to announce this big grudge match for next week on TV, they just have Sockface say, oh, 5 seconds later, by the way, after they've been pulled apart, it's been made official next week on TV. MJF versus... Did you see the video of Samoa Joe and Hook, apparently from Saturday night's Collision program, beating up the Job Guys and the Job Guys manager in their own locker room?
Like all good baby faces do, yes.
And apparently, because the odd man out, because Hook and Joe are beating up the Job Guys, but the jobber manager needs a counterpart on the other side, so they got Shapoopy is running around shooting with the video camera, Hook and Joe beating up the Job Guys and the Job Guy manager. At least Shapoopy will have a career to fall back on after wrestling. And then they had a 6-man tag with Kyle O'Reilly and Mark Briscoe and Pockets against Kyle Felcher and Take a Shit and Roderick Strong, accompanied by Don Fallis and Trent and Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. And out of all that, they beat Briscoe. The one legitimate potential breakthrough wrestling star that was involved at this point in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people involved in that match in one way or another. There's one of them you could actually draw some money with, and he's the one they beat. But anyway, otherwise, obviously, Pockets was in it, so we don't.
You didn't see any of this? You didn't see when
No.
Pockets is getting beat up, who made the save? Or who tried to make the save?
Who saved it?
Well, Willow Nightingale's music hit. But before she even got out of the tunnel, she'd been attacked by Chris Statlander, and she's getting her ass kicked by Statlander, and then Stokely Hathaway grabs the mic, and he says, Willow, don't stick your nose in our business. And I'm like, she didn't. She was completely not in our business. She was in someone else's business. And yeah, Willow Nightingale is the backup for Orange Cassidy. So this is maybe how Tony's going to back into the mixed tag team title situation.
Oh, good God, and put a mixed tag team title on the fucking idiot. Jesus Christ, this is... are we watching now, at this point, that Tony just refuses to give up on any of his favorite toys? Are we watching a young, potentially overindulged little young man over in a quarter playing with himself out in front of a fucking dinner party?
There are a lot of people on this show that Tony believes in himself. And I think the problem is that even if you do believe in them, the booking has been so stale around them for so long that them just being there propels the lameness further. A lot of people need a break. I mean, if you really think about Orange Cassidy, your feelings about him and what I think about him and other people...
Somebody tweeted a statistic. He has more wins than anybody else in OVW. Or in OVW. Try that again. OVW. More wins than anyone else in AEW in like 2 of the 4 years they've been full years in existence or whatever. More, it's insane.
Right, and he's been there since the beginning. He's been featured on that show since the very beginning. And do you think anything's going to happen to cause more people to care now? And less people care now than cared a few years ago. And that's going to probably continue. Is there anything that can be done with Orange Cassidy to make people care? Really care? I don't know.
Yes. I think you can have an old-fashioned fucking Megagate on pay-per-view if you will find someone to put him in the middle of a racetrack, douse him with gasoline, and set him on fucking fire.
Well, there's a lot of insurance issues with that. I don't know if we're going to be able to...
No, they just did it on the last show. They didn't even have to take him to the fucking racetrack. They did it right in the middle of the arena. I want to put him in the middle of a racetrack because I think they can sell it out.
What if you have a bull? What if you have a bull also?
A bull? No, the bull's smart enough not to run into the fire. See, you're not dealing with brainiacs here.
Why was that woman wearing a red shirt at the... I mean, that's the thing I kept asking myself. What, is she an idiot? It's the one thing you know, don't wear red around a bull.
Well, but she wasn't even in the bull arena. She was out at the concession stand. You would have to think that she thought that the bulls at the concession stand would have been fried already.
So you believe it was a case of, hey, Susan, sit down. No, I can't. I'll be over here by the popcorn and cotton candy.
Yeah, I don't see that bullshit. I'm scared of that. She's standing out there minding her own business, and she was doing fine, and then here came the Egyptian. Party bus.
Party bus.
Party bus. All right, back to this, because here's a party. The 9 o'clock hour was a Christopher Daniels pre-tape making an announcement, followed by Hook and Samoa Joe attacking the same jobbers that they beat up in the pre-tape on the stage with Shapoopy running the camera. And they threw him into the ring, and the referee rang the bell for a match between... This is the 9 o'clock hour, pre-tape and prelim.
Did you watch that Christopher Daniels announcement?
Yes, I'm going to back up to it in a second, but there was a 1-2 punch that I was astonished that they would give at the top of an hour.
Well, they also had some backstage talk with Samoa Joe and Hook, asking if Taz was a graduate of Syracuse. Is that why he liked orange? So they're telling jokes now. These backstage segments right before they attack and mug the heel undercard job crew.
What's a shaboopy?
But Daniels made the announcement.
Whoever was holding the camera got
in his capacity as an announcement maker.
Did you hear how he started it?
Oh yeah, what was the
Here's what he said.
I didn't write the exact words down.
Here's what he said. And again, this is the interim executive vice president. All of a sudden he turns around and he goes, "Hey guys, I'm back."
Yeah, that's
an announcement. Because that's what Jack Tunney would say. I'm back. And here's what I have to say. I'm back. I'm back from what? From the earlier segment?
Well, yeah, and unfortunately, that's what he's probably referring to is like, I'm back out here again, and his way, he was trying to convey, or some amateur producer was telling him to try to convey that, well, I'm back with more big news, but it was just so awkwardly the way it was said. And if they were going to, if the announcers say we're going to pitch to him, not pitch to him cold, in other words, and let's go to the back now with Chris Daniels, but ask him some type of question that required some interaction, then it would have been easier for him to say something effective. Well, guys, my work tonight is not over with, because in addition to what we were just talking about out there before, but it's just so fucking awkward, because they probably did it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon as pre-tape. They didn't know what the fuck was going on. But anyway, he announced that next week, Cody and Maddie and Nikki will wrestle in eliminator matches for title shots for their opponents. If the people that they wrestle next week beat them next week, then they get the opportunity to wrestle them again and beat them again. And all seconds and managers and flunkies and cohorts and henchmen and stooges, did I mention that, are barred from ringside, because we can do that in some of the matches, just not all of the matches. But it's our fault when it happens in the matches that we don't do it in, because we've established that we do it sometimes. And that was the 9 o'clock hour. And then here came Hook and Joe. So the eliminator matches, what the fuck? They're just gonna...
And Daniels is just trying to passionately say the crap he has to say.
Yes, that's why I'm saying you don't know whether he's sucking at it or whether it's the shit he has to say, because...
Hey guys, I'm back. Come on, what the hell is that? Hey guys, I'm back.
They're going to... Well, now, Tony, in all fairness, Tony Khan quit saying thanks, guys, so guys is kind of open. But they're going to have matches next week against people that they're going to beat, because then they're going to be wrestling on the pay-per-view, and we won't have interference. And they're still going to beat them.
The most counterproductive word in AEW is eliminator. The eliminator matches is such a bad concept to say out loud too often.
Who is it eliminating? If these people lose when they wrestle the champions in non-title matches, does that mean that they never ever can get title matches? Would they have ever gotten a title match anyway? Or do they still continue sometimes to get title matches?
It does go to the...
I think we lost it because the servers went down. The DLC's probably getting uploaded right now. Wow, so you cannot play Elden Ring offline. Is that the case? Oh, I think that's going to be the end of the stream, guys. Okay. Wow. I think it was the person who was holding the camera, Gonzo. I think that's who he's talking about. Wow, this dude has all his health still. That's some bullshit. All right. Well, I don't. He was just talking about whoever was holding the camera when Samoa Joe and whoever that was were beating up the job guys. That's what they were talking about. Anyway, Gonzo, I appreciate you coming by as usual. Herman, Boss Man, Monkey. I'll catch you guys on the next one.